So I just made a video on how to calculate our menstrual cycle. Now I want to make a video on how we can calculate our ovulation, because a lot of persons, they have this as a problem, like whenever they want to avoid getting pregnant, they don't know how to go about it, and then they want to know when is their safe period, when is their peak, when are they supposed to avoid having sexual intercourse so as to avoid getting pregnant immediately. So how long does sperm actually stay in the system before the thing is considered that you get pregnant? So I'm going to be helping us, because this will also help those who doesn't want to go into IUD, those you don't want to go into getting contraceptive to avoid pregnancy. This will be very, very helpful for you, provided you pay attention and pick the very important message that works for you from these videos. So calculating your ovulation too, I hope that you know that this is also helpful for those of you that have been trying to get pregnant. I hear somebody say one day that the friend told him that when you want your wife to get pregnant, is while she's menstruating, you need to keep going and then doing the thing. So I felt like that is not how it is being done, because as at that point there is no egg to be fertilized. As at that point, nothing in the ovary. So what are you now doing that you think that is when the woman will get pregnant? Even a week after your cycle, the woman is still safe. Yes, a week after your menstrual period, the woman is still safe. So the woman cannot get pregnant as at that time. So, and then this video will help those of you that are having problem with conceiving. You want to get pregnant anytime soon. You have problem with your ovulation, knowing when it will be, how it will be, and all that. This will help you. And of course, I need to also add that there is a time during your ovulation, when during your normal activity, you start noticing some kind of discharge. You may have fever, you may feel weak a little during your normal life, during the course of the months. Let me use that. So why that happen? When you have that mucus that comes out from your vagina, it is because you are ovulating. So it is not actually a bad thing when you see something like that. So how do you know when you're ovulating? Where do you calculate it? Is it possible to know it at hand just before that time? Already now we know that sperm lasts about 5 days before it dies in the system. So how do you avoid getting pregnant in the process, especially for somebody who doesn't want? Or how do you get pregnant if you want to get pregnant as at that time? If you are somebody that has been expecting, hoping to get a child, a baby, how do you get pregnant? So let us go. If you're not ovulating, please, if you're not seeing any of this discharge or any sign that shows you're ovulating, I beg you to book an appointment with your doctor. Discuss it with your doctor. Let them know how far they can help you. But I believe that if there's nothing wrong with your system, everything is fine, this video is going to go a long way to help you. So let us go. So I have said that the key thing that we need to know is, one, your period length can be 28 to 32 or more. Some can have it. And please, it's important that I let us know this. If your period length is maybe more than 32, 37, 40, 45, if you're breastfeeding or you just finished breastfeeding, it may happen like that. If you're having an irregular period, or you are having a serious problem with your hormonal issue, you're having serious hormonal imbalance, it may happen like that. So, but you need to keep checking. That is why you need this calendar. You need to keep checking, because sometimes even when it happens like that, you may have first time 47 days gap, then later it turns to 45, later it keeps going down like that, readjusting. But most of all, it is also very, very important that you take fruits and vegetables, and then avocado is very, very important for somebody who is trying to balance his or her hormone. But please don't eat so much of it because it adds fat to the body, just like groundnut. So but it's healthy fat anyway. So now we are going to look at how can you calculate your ovulation. I said we need to know your period, the length of your period, which you have written out now. So now let's assume that your period length is, let me use 28 for example. Now you are going to count, if assuming the period starts on the 8th of August, so you are going to count 1, and then the thing is maybe running for like let's say 5 days. Let me use that. So you are going to count 1. This is 1. I like to put the numbers on it to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24. This is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So now you are looking at your period length is 28, so you stop here. This is 28. You don't need this except if your period length is 30 or more. So this is 28. You stop here. So you are going to tick this, that your period is going to come out on these days. Please, if you don't know more about your period, how it comes, when it's supposed to come, please watch my the video I have done before this one. I took my time to explain it there. So now, how do you know your ovulation when it's supposed to come out? Normally it's going to be on the day 14, or depending on your period, it can be 14 days, between 14 days. If your period is between 28 days to 32 days, or if it is this, then know that your period length, your ovulation, you are going to be ovulating, the peak will be around 14 to 18. Day 14 to day 18. Now, how do you know the day that is supposed to be the day 14 to the day 18? Now, this is how you're going to do it. You have given it this number. This is your concentration, not this one, please. This is where you are going to concentrate on. This one that you have written out on top of the numbers. That is where your own calendar falls in now for your period. That's what you are calculating, not this other one. The one I use red pen on is the one you are going to be using, not the blue ones. Now the blue one will help you to know the dates in your calendar, but for your own number, this is what the red one is what you're going to concentrate on for you to be able to get it. So let's go. So now this is 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to look for the number that falls on 14. This is 14, and then that 14 is on the 21st of August. So it means that on the 21st of August, your ovulation is expected to start on that day. Is either the egg will be released on this day. If it's not released on this day, it can be released on the 15th, 16th, 17th, or 18th, depending on your period length. It is very, very important that you note that, depending on your period length. But normally, if your period length is 28 days, then there's every tendency, high tendency that you start seeing the heavy discharge on these dates. Yes, you start seeing something very serious on these days. You start having fever, discharge, and all that. But please, if it is itching you or it has a foul smell, that may be signs of infection. You need to book an appointment with your doctor. That is very, very important. So on this date, you have marked it that on the 21st of August, if you are expecting to want to have a baby, try to have sexual intercourse on this date. But if you are not, please try to avoid this day. Now, there is another time for you to thing that is very important for you to note. That is 3 days. I always count 3 days before the length. If your period length is, let me say 14 now, 28 days, and then you are expected to ovulate on this day, so you count 3 days before. This is 13, 2, 3. on these 3 days before the main length, before the main period date, you have to avoid you have to have sexual intercourse, because if the sperm is released, there's every tendency for it to meet an egg here, and there will be some fertilization. But if you are avoiding, that means you have to start avoiding from here. So you don't need, there's no need for you to go taking postinor or whatever you want to take in order to prevent having pregnant if you don't want. But if you want to get pregnant, these dates are very important. This one, 2, 3, and then normally it's always said that you have sexual intercourse these 3 days before this day you have a baby girl. That is what he said. I don't know, please, I'm not God. I believe everything comes with God. So if it is this one also, these 3 days, 1, 2 and 3 is also another one that you need to watch out for. Normally they also say that if you have here these 3 days, there's every tendency that when the baby comes, it's going to be a baby boy. I'm not God, please. That is what scientists have said, and that is what I am telling us. So please, let's move on. So this is for somebody whose length is 14, who is ovulating the peak on 14th. So it means that these ones are not yours. These are the days that are not safe for you. Thank God I've used red. These ones are not safe. But other days, that is when we say a week after your period. Now you have finished your period here, and then the other days before it, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see it now? Exactly 7 days. A week after your period, you are actually safe to have sexual intercourse. So a week also before your next period is also safe for you. So let's assume your next period is here, which is this one. So before this date comes in, a week before it, let's count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7, and I told us that the 18 also is very, very key. So you have to be also careful on these dates also. So this is 7. So from these dates now, you're free to do whatever you want. If you don't want to get pregnant, but if you want to, these are the days that you can actually have sexual intercourse with your husband. For you to be, these are your fertile days. Just remember that, and fertile days. So these are your fertile days. So you watch out for this one. So let me also use another example. I hope this video will not be so long for you. So let's assume this is September. Let me use September as an example. Let's assume that somebody's period is 32 days. Let me use what I use in the other one, the circle. So let's assume that somebody's period is 32 days, and then you want to calculate. Now I use the other one I started on the 30th. Let's assume that the person's menstrual period came out 1st or 31st of August. So this is 31st, and the period length is 32 days. So we are going to start counting from here. 1, this will now be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and then 32. So you are going to see your period next again in October, not this month again. So you will not see anything in the month of September, but in October you will see something. That is, your period will come out. Now let us now look at what now happens here. Your period, your ovulation. How do you now get to your ovulation here? For somebody whose period length is 32 days, and then the person is now looking for, when am I safe period, when am I not safe, when am I going to get pregnant here. So now we have said that normally it's for you, for somebody that is here and then here is usually 30 whose period length is 28 days or 32 days. So it's usually 14 to 18. So for somebody that is 32, me, I will use 16. Maybe on the 16th you may be ovulating. That is your peak. So let's say that is dividing it by 2 now. So on the 16th you may be ovulating, or maybe 17th or 18th. That is your peak now. So let's now calculate and know when you are safe and when you can be thinking of, yes, if I have sexual intercourse today, I will get a baby. So this is it. You start, this is 1, and then we are looking for day 14. This is 14th, and then I said, okay, let us use 16. This is day 16. So it means that here there is high tendency that your ovulation, your peak, the peak is here on the 16th, and then the 3 days before that ovulation, which is this one, the 3 days before, you're going to count 1, 2, 3. 3 days before this one, there is every tendency that you may get pregnant here, because if this egg is released here, and then there is already sperm that is there waiting, and then every sperm, I told you that it can last for at least 5 days in the system. So if maybe the sperm is there just waiting for egg that will meet and to fertilize an egg, and then it finally meets one on this date, there is every tendency that you get pregnant. You understand? So also this one, 3 days after, 1, 2, 3. This is another important date for somebody that you want to get pregnant. You have to watch out these days. They are very, very important for you. So you save the date. What you can do, get a calendar, save it, and then when you get that exact date you want, go to your calendar in your phone, save it there, so that it will be a reminder for you, just in case you're somebody that it's easy to forget dates, or it's easy to forget something, because when you get involved in your activities you may forget it easily. So this is what you are going to do. When you have achieved this, you already know that this is day 16. This is the day you are ovulating, and that day 16 falls on 15th of September, which is on a Friday. 15th of September, which is on a Friday. So, and it's your own day 16 in your period. So you are going to be if you want to avoid, then you have to avoid from these days. But you can easily have sexual intercourse any other day without getting pregnant. But if you want, these are the days. You can always have this one before this day. Of course, when you are having your period, you are not expected to have sexual intercourse, but it depends on you and your husband. So these are what you are supposed to know, so that you don't end up depriving your partner of your body. Okay? So the last time I tried to teach this in the church, it didn't actually go well for some persons, because it felt like, why would you be teaching this kind of thing in the church? But I must tell you this, these are the things that are making people, somebody wants to have just 2 children or at most 3, and then the person ends up having 10, 7, or even more, or the person ends up going to do abortion. You understand? So it's because they don't have this knowledge, especially in the church society. We don't have this knowledge. So that is why most people end up having children that they don't want, and they don't know how to avoid it, especially for those women who maybe after having a child, immediately maybe 1 month, 2 months, their period have already started running. You understand? So how can you check when your safe period would be or could be? You understand? So that you know when to avoid having sexual intercourse, or how to go about it, or just discuss it with your partner. Your partner can also be of help. He can also help you to calculate your period. It is not a one-person thing. Both of you can actually join hands together and do these things. It works. It helps a lot. So because you don't want to deprive your partner, your husband, your body. So you want to make sure that both of you are in agreement while you're doing this. So that it's not when he comes and say, yeah, you'll be like, no, I'm not ready for this, I'm not in my safe period, or you don't even know when your safe period is. You are just like saying you are not in your safe period. So what can you do? how can you avoid this kind of things? I hear a lot of persons, they said for them to avoid pregnancy, they go drinking alcohol. I don't advise taking alcohol for you to avoid getting pregnant. So please, I believe this video will help you a lot if you don't know how to calculate your ovulation. So I want to believe that your time you spent watching this video is worth it, and I believe that it will help you a lot after now. So please, while you watch the video, it is important that you get your pen and paper to do the calculation while we are doing it. So if your period length is so, you know how to calculate it and know when you should be expecting your next period. So that is so. Please, another thing I need to say is this: when a woman is maybe having a child, and then before you know it, the woman in less than 1 year she already have a baby, I see a lot of people, they start to gossip about the person and they say a lot of things about them. This is very, very important for us to know that you are not in charge of your body system, and then sometimes without you being able to calculate this, you may end up getting pregnant when you don't want to. So maybe the baby that you have, you see somebody whose baby is 3 months old or 4 months or 6 months, and then the person is already pregnant again. It is not the person's fault. One, its period was not properly calculated. Two, the person didn't you are not even expected to be menstruating while you're breastfeeding, but because of hormonal imbalance it happens like that. So you have to take it the way it comes. So there are some persons that after they have a baby, they stay 1 year or more, as long as they are breastfeeding, they will not have see their period, and those ones, perfect, good, kudos to you. But for some, they are not able, because immediately after their baby they start seeing their period. So these kind of persons will not be able to calculate the period, will not be able to avoid getting pregnant, except if you calculate your period to be able to know when you should expect getting pregnant and when you should avoid getting pregnant. I believe this video will help you. So please, if you're one of those who gossip a lot about people who is getting pregnant, or maybe the person keep having a baby every year, just imagine maybe a woman who is not educated and the person doesn't have this knowledge, doesn't know how to go about it, and then the person ends up having a baby every other year. Just every year the person keeps getting pregnant, having children. You don't know what the person may be passing through. It's not the person's fault. One is no calculation, two, no knowledge of what to do, and then the person doesn't know how to avoid it. So please, this is very, very important message. As you are getting this video, please try to share it with others, so that other people can get this information and then be able to help themselves to conceive. For those who want to conceive, avoid getting pregnant if you're already pregnant, if you're already you have enough children. This, you don't need to start looking for condom, you don't need to start looking for postinol, you don't need to start looking for pills. This is just a safe way to calculate your period and be fine and be free. I believe God will help you. Sorry the video is very long, but I'm just trying to take my time to explain this very well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you in my next video.